Hey everybody, Al Puglisi Trains with Howard. It's farm days here at the shop. This is not a day in a shop. This is,
This is a day in the shop.
well, yeah, I guess it is a day in a shop, but we're going to talk about we had these on the channel, these Purina Chow structures Howard designed. And we built one that we advertised for sale, and it was purchased. Someone bought it. They're both O scale. And we have a client, Howard has a client in HO scale that purchased it. But Howard decided to upgrade it and add a bunch of little additional things to it. So let me show it to you. Hey Howard, you just got one of those damn phone calls.
Great buckets of leaping yak shit. All these goddamn people. That's all right. I don't lose my temper.
Every one of them that comes through says it's like MD, like Joe Blow MD.
Half of them are scams. What they do is they look up old people,
Right.
and they can try to scam me. There's more of this crap going on, so we just don't listen to them.
Right. And then we've had a couple people call saying they're your grandkids.
Oh yeah.
You tell them to go
Grandpa,
jump.
I need help.
Yeah, I need help.
Go fuck yourself, you little shit.
Anyway, let's go. Let me pan out here.
Incorrigible.
This is the revised Purina Chows. I got to get away from it, Howard. I'm so close. And tell us what you did to this, Howard. Or what
Well,
you
this started out on a trip to near Frederick on the Western Maryland. There was a structure similar to this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't take any photographs, but I did it from memory. The original HO one. Now, do you have that in the catalog?
Yeah, I'd have to. We'll have to
put
dig
that
it
in a
out.
hole, we'll show that.
All right. In the meantime, before I do that, let's slowly turn this on the Lazy
This
Susan.
is now the upgrade. There
Wow.
are two of these here.
Yes. This is mine, folks.
This is for Al.
Yeah, this is the one that her and I
Take a
just.
look at all the stuff on here. Ladders, fire escapes, ducts.
Just a lot of additional stuff that the original design didn't have. This one's got 4 tube silos. The other one has 2 tube silos. And a 3/4 roof going around the building. And more ladders.
Well,
And-
it's
and-
kind of the ultimate. There's a lot of work in this thing.
Oh, yeah.
There's about 100 hours in this.
And then the other thing, Howard and I were talking, and we're like, you know what? How the hell does the grain get from the truck or from the rail car?
Again, it's about imagination. The grain, this is where the trucks will load here. This
Right.
goes to the top of the truck. There's the valve that can turn on and off.
Right.
It goes through here into this little truss shed here, up through here,
Yep.
and into here.
Yep, it's just
Okay,
imagination.
Now the other side is where it loads up. So they can load up a truck here.
Right.
And we don't have it going into this building. We forgot to do that.
Well, we can do that.
We can always do that. Add that.
And then if you ever wanted to have it with a rail, instead of truck service, I wanted truck service to give me flexibility with my O-scale layout
I
design.
started to say that originally there was a structure like this, and I still believe it exists. It's near Frederick on the old Western Maryland. And I didn't take any shots. I just did it from memory. That was the original HO one. Now, I had that on my layout, the first one. The one is in the catalog. Actually, I'll take a break and show the catalog.
Yeah, let me pause it.
Show the first one.
All right, Howard, we found that in the catalog. This was the original.
That was the original. This is not in the catalog. This is a color shot of it.
Okay.
Now, this was installed on the layout, and some gentleman came down and he says, I got to have it. Well, I didn't have it connected to the scenery, so I said, okay, all yours. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Wow.
So that was number one. Now, we built this for a client that didn't go too well. We're not going to talk about that.
Right.
We wound up with it,
Right.
and we parted ways, and he's happy, and we're happy.
Right.
He's a nice guy, very nice person.
And we sold it to the client on the West Coast. This
Well,
one
the
here.
West Coast client saw this, and he said I had to have it. So we sold it as we were going to deliver it to the client.
In the Midwest, I think.
Midwest, yeah.
Right.
And so he wanted it the way it was. However, it wasn't finished.
Right.
Because the client wanted it. He was going to do some stuff to it also. So we were going to send it out, not quite
Finished.
up to our standards.
Right.
So as a courtesy to our client in the West Coast, we did finish it. He doesn't know he's getting this. Right. He doesn't know about the piping or the detail on the loading dock.
Right. There's extra
That's
detail.
all an upgrade. Now, we're not charging him for that.
Right. And put it on a nice
We
base
put it on
form.
a base, yeah.
Yeah.
No, if this were, he wanted a diorama out of this, that would be obviously additional money.
Right. Totally different. And then we'll get back to...
Now, this is the upgrade. This is for you, Al. And you want all kinds of goodies, whistles and bells and stuff like that. So here's the upgrade.
Man,
now, we had a client came down, I believe it was yesterday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yep.
And he says, great galloping gobs of goat shit. I got to have that thing.
Yeah.
I said, Mike, you're not the old scale. He said, I don't care. So, well, I'll build it for you in HO scale. So we're going full circle. So
Right.
now I'm going to build another one in HO.
Yes. And
Now,
I hope...
the original one I saw in Frederick did not have Purina chows. We have these signs in stock. So it looks pretty good. So, again, it's about imagination.
Yep.
So we call it Purina chows.
And there's more than one way to get grain inside this and get it out. And like I say, folks, if you wanted...
Well, it's about imagination.
Right. And if you wanted it fed with a rail car, I didn't, like I said, I didn't want track.
This would work with a rail car, or we could put a trailer. We could modify this for, well, we'd have to change the steps here. But
Right.
with the car, the tracks could come this way,
Right.
or it could come that way.
Because I just don't...
We could change it.
On my layout, I don't know if there's
This is
going to
for
be...
truck service, not rail service.
Right.
Now, one thing that people don't realize, when you have a structure on a layout that's an industry, it does not have to be serviced by rail.
Right.
Or else you have a spaghetti bowl. You have tracks going everywhere.
Right.
And we talked about this in my layout. Half of my structures are not serviced by rail. It's serviced by truck.
Right.
And it looks great.
Yep. A lot of folks are afraid to do that. Oh, well, I don't have a siding for it. You don't need a
You don't
siding
need a
for
siding. It looks better without a siding.
Right.
Because what happens if it's siding, every structure has a siding, you're going to wind up with the proverbial spaghetti bowl, as I just said.
it. Right. Plus, it's more realistic because a lot of these structures are serviced by truck.
Yes.
Well, let's go ahead and spin it around again, Howard. Go ahead and slowly
Let's see.
spin it
Now,
around.
we added stairways on it. We added ladders, which the original did not have.
Added
Wires in the chimney.
wires on the chimney. Took the roof 3/4 around.
Show my ponytail.
Yeah, that's back.
Let me
It's
get around this way.
hasn't.
How's it look?
It looks exact. Oh, it's a little longer. You look like Jefferson, Thomas
There
Jefferson.
you go. You might kind of guy.
Yeah, this thing, this structure on the front of it really woke it up. And this thing is beautiful. It's big, it's beautiful, and everything is different. No two are exactly the same, which is...
Now, do you want to talk about price?
Yeah, let's talk about
Okay.
price.
Originally, this was going on $14.50. Okay, with all the changes we made in the upgrades, because he's a good customer, he's bought 28 buildings now to date.
Right.
We're not gonna charge him for the upgrades.
Right.
Okay, this one here is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Plus, the original one only had, well, this version here had 2 silos.
Right.
Now we have 4 silos on yours.
Right.
And I bet those silos they got to be built.
And Howard, I helped you with that. I mean,
You did have to work on this.
Yeah, I did have to work on this. The two of us worked on this thing a long
Well,
time.
it's part of your learning experience
Right.
also.
And
That's your discipleship, Al.
and I wanted the stuff weathered. I wanted it heavily weathered, and
Well,
we've
maybe
got
moderate, it's not heavy.
okay.
Moderate weather.
With the peeling paint.
This is light weathering here.
Right.
Now,
Over
in the
here.
weathering, we don't call it weathering. We call it bringing the color into scale. It's not. Weathering's a bad term, even though it's used. Because when that was bright white, it would stand out like a sore thumb.
Right.
You have to wear eyeglasses to see it.
Right.
It's no good. So we bring it in scale.
Go back down here into the bottom, all the pipes and everything. And you know, we talked at earlier video about how the Tamiya paint reacts with alcohol ink. And sometimes we expect it, and sometimes we're like, wait a minute, how come it's not doing anything? And case in point, here's the base, the loading ramp. Now that was shot in Tamiya.
No, it wasn't. That was not Tamiya. That was
Earth. I thought it was.
Krylon. That was Krylon.
Was it?
Krylon or
Okay.
earth color.
All right. All right.
No,
I'm
no,
mistaken then. But here's something weird. Howard and I were experimenting last week, and we shot this platform here, NATO brown, and we let it dry, and
That's
then
Tamiya, NATO brown.
right, and then we hit it with alcohol ink, and it did nothing.
Except it did it today.
It did it today. Yeah. Now I just added a little more alcohol ink to it this morning because I said, it needs a little more weathering, but you know, and then sure enough, it chalked it nicely for
Now,
us.
another thing on these upgrades, notice we're using elbows and valves for the instead of just
Right.
cutting out a 45 or a 30.
Right. Wow.
and putting the pipes together. So that's a plus.
Really beautiful. Well, Howard, again, this thing is absolutely stunning, and I'm proud.
Well, it's going to look good on your layout.
Yes.
And we could build more of these. We love doing it.
Yes.
Folks, we do charge for this. You want to talk about the price?
Yeah, this is going to run you every bit of $26.95 if you want a no scale one.
Yes. And this one here, even though this is going out for $14.50 for a client, if we had to build this version, which is a lot less, that would be more like $1,800.
Yeah. So this is a more deluxe version with it's a little bit larger.
You got to remember these are 100 plus hours.
Yeah.
Now I told the story once, I think, in one of the days in the shop with you about we're charging $25, $35 an hour for our times. And the meantime, the plumbers and the crapper at $140 an hour.
Right.
It doesn't. Well, of course, then again, we're retired, or I'm retired. Well, so are you.
Yeah.
We're both retired.
But folks, the bottom line is this: if you can build and do that, that's great. But a lot of our clients, they want something an artist did, and these things aren't perfect. Howard's talked about it before. It's our art, and there's some imperfections, but that's part of the art. And you take it or leave it, and it's. Man, I just am super duper happy with it.
Well, you're a happy customer.
Yep. Well, Howard.
The point is, we do charge for this, but we absolutely love what we're doing.
Right.
And that shows.
Right.
If we didn't like what we were doing, we couldn't do this.
No, not at all. Well, Howard, I appreciate it. We're going to have many more.
All the stairways in here, all these ladders.
Oh yeah, here let's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was we got about 20 hours in
ladders. This thing is about 24 inches long by about 16 inches wide, maybe 18 wide, but it's tall.
Well, again, we can probably adjust the size. If a client wants one, we require the footprint of where it's going. Right. And if we can fit it, we can make it smaller or we can make it bigger to an extent.
Wow. To an extent. Well, folks, stay tuned because we have an interesting little project for one of our local clients on a building. It's called the Foothill Station, and we're going to talk about that in an upcoming episode soon. And Howard, thanks for making the video and taking time out so that I could shoot this.
You're quite welcome.